Hi, welcome to Storytime with Gigi. Today we're reading a story from the I Can series by Miriam Laundrie called I Can Make a Difference. Dedicated to my children who make a difference in my life. Serena, Alyssa, Aiden, and Lucas. You have my heart. It's very nice. Mrs. Ruby held up a $10 bill. Who would like one of these? She asked her class. Every hand in the room shot up. Great, she exclaimed. I have one for each of you. Alex couldn't believe it. He'd been saving up to buy a new basketball since he'd lost his old one. Now was his chance to get it. But there's one thing you need to know, continued Mrs. Ruby. You cannot spend this money on yourself. All hands went down. The children looked confused as Mrs. Ruby explained further. You must use this money to make a difference in someone's life. Alex couldn't resist. I'm a someone. Can I make a difference in my life and buy myself a basketball? Mrs. Ruby clarified. Someone else's life, Alex. Well, can someone else make a difference in my life and buy me a basketball? Asked Alex with a smirk. Mrs. Ruby just continued. We've been talking all month about responsibility. Now is your chance to demonstrate it with this money. You have 1 week to report to the class on how you made a difference. All the children left that day excited about Mrs. Ruby's challenge. All but Alex. What am I supposed to do with this money? He grumbled as he shoved the bill into his pocket. Alex quickly forgot about the gift as he raced home to watch the basketball game on TV. He was so excited that he didn't notice the $10 bill slip out of his pocket. Uh-oh. The next day, during gym class, the children were practicing their free throw shots when Mrs. Ruby started to partner the children. Alex, said Mrs. Ruby, I'd like you to work with Molly. Alex sighed. Can I please work with my brother? Molly doesn't even know how to get the ball in the basket. Not yet, said Mrs. Ruby, smiling. Off you go. This is impossible, Molly insisted. I've never made a basket. Never? Questioned Alex. That's hard to believe. Never, responded Molly sadly. Molly looked up at Alex. How do you always get it in? Alex showed Molly some tricks. First, you have to hold the ball like this. Put your feet like that. Then aim above the rim. Alex demonstrated a few times. Then Molly tried. She got one in. Then 2 and 3. Hey, this is actually fun. I can play basketball, she said excitedly. As they practiced their shots, Molly asked Alex what he was doing for the Make a Difference project. No clue, he said, trying to remember where he had put his $10 bill. What are you doing with your gift? He asked Molly. I just figured it out, thanks to you, she said as the recess bell rang. Alex was confused. I'll tell you later, said Molly as she started putting the balls back on the rack. She was cleanup helper today. Mrs. Ruby called over to Emily. I believe you're the other cleanup helper today, right? Oh, I forgot, Mrs. Ruby, said Emily. I have chess practice this recess. Emily turned around and asked Alex, can you please clean up for me? Alex hesitated. He loved going outside at recess to shoot hoops with his brother. He also knew the big chess tournament was coming up. Oh, all right, Alex answered. Thank you, Alex, said Emily with a sparkle in her eye. Hey, you just gave me an idea for my project. I know how I'm going to use my gift now. She was about to explain when Mrs. Ruby said, Emily, you better get going. Your practice is about to start. Alex checked his backpack during recess for the $10 bill. Nothing. It's probably in my bedroom, he thought, growing a little worried. Later that evening, Alex was hard at work looking for his money when Andy dropped in. Alex, are you feeling okay? Asked Andy with a curious grin. Yeah, why? Wondered Alex. Since when do you clean on a Friday evening, or ever? Smiled Andy. Oh, I'm just looking for my, Alex paused, basketball. He spotted it under his desk. There it is, he said, twirling the basketball on his finger. Would love to stay and chat, said Andy, but I'm going to Berea's to work on our Make a Difference project. Have you started yet? Oh, I'm still thinking about it, said Alex, his voice cracking. Andy looked at Alex's piles. Well, I think I just figured out what Maria and I are going to do. Andy raced off with a smile. I need to find that $10 bill, thought Alex as he rearranged the things in his bedroom. It has to be here somewhere. Alex eventually found his floor, but he couldn't find his $10 bill. What am I going to do? Worried Alex. Presentations are on Monday. There's no way I can make a difference now. Presentation day quickly arrived. Alex fidgeted in his seat. Please don't pick me, please don't pick me, Alex silently begged. Our first presenter for the Make a Difference project is Alex, said Mrs. Ruby as she picked a card. Well, he started, I sort of lost my $10 gift, said Alex in muffled tones, so I didn't make a difference for anyone. I'm sorry, Mrs. Ruby. The class sat in silence. Mrs. Ruby didn't know what to say. Then Molly stood up. You made a difference for me, she said with a glowing smile. You used your talents to teach me basketball, so I used my talents to make cards for the kids at the children's hospital. I used the money to buy craft supplies. Look at all these smiles. Emily rose to her feet. You made a difference for me, too, she announced. Remember how you gave up your time at recess to clean the gym for me? Alex nodded. Well, instead of watching my favorite TV show, I used my time to clean up the park with my mom. I used the money to buy cleaning supplies. Oh, yeah? Andy blurted. Well, Alex made a difference for Maria and me, too. He explained further. You know how you gave your old toys to the little boy down the street? You mean Tommy? Asked Alex. Marie answered, yes, well, we are giving food to a little boy in my home country, El Salvador. His family is in need right now. Andy added, we bought supplies to set up a lemonade stand and garage sale. We raised enough money to feed him for a whole year. Wow, thanks everyone, beamed Alex, looking at all his friends. Mrs. Ruby thanked the class as well and said, well, it looks like Alex has reminded me of a very important lesson too. We don't always need money to help others. We all have a special gift inside of us to make a difference. Mrs. Ruby paused and continued, "Now for your next project, go find ways to make a difference this week without using money." Alex spoke up, "If anyone needs ideas, I'll sell you some of mine." Everyone smiled, even the bird living in the tree just outside the window. And here's a pledge. I can make a difference. It's as easy as can be. And all I need to do is bring along this letter T. My time I'll give to others, use my talents for good deeds. The treasures that I have can go to those with greater needs. And that's our story. I hope you liked it. Be sure you like and subscribe and share with your friends. I will have a link below to connect you with how you can get your own copy of this book and the other books in the I Can series by Miriam Laundrie. Make sure you like and subscribe, and bye until next time.